back to Beyond the Studio Pilates. My name's Hannah, and today I want to take you through a really nice mobility workout that's going to look at stretching and strengthening your entire body using some of my favourite Pilates exercises. We're going to start with our roll down. So we're going to do 2 with arms above our head, and then 2 with up to 4 press ups and up to 4 tricep press ups. So you can pick, if you want to do less of them, you can. So 2 with arms above our head first, no press ups. So feet are underneath you, knees are soft, arms are coming into the air. Check what that does to your ribs. So make sure your ribs haven't flared forward. Think about ribs in line with hips. Hold for an inhale. Then exhale, tucking your chin to your chest and slowly, with control, rolling down 1 vertebrae at a time. So you're keeping it nice and slow and controlled. Holding at the bottom for an inhale. And then exhale, tucking your pelvis back underneath you, keeping your ribs in line with your hips and restacking back to standing, holding at the top for an inhale and exhale. Tuck that chin, leading with the crown of your head, pelvic floor on, core engaged. Slowly, with control, bringing yourself down to the mat. Holding at the bottom for an inhale. And then again, exhale, tucking your pelvis back underneath you. Keep thinking shoulder blades melting down your back. Make sure you're not bringing your shoulders up towards your ears just because your arms are above your head. And then stretching those arms out to your sides. 2 with our press up and tricep press up mix now. So holding at the top for an inhale. Exhale. Slowly, with control, mobilizing through each of those vertebrae down towards the mat. When you get to the floor, you're going to bend your knees and walk your hands forward and come into your press up position. So pelvis comes forward of your knees, core engaged, so make sure you're not sagging in the middle. And then you're going to take your head forward, elbows back for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then you're going to turn your elbows in so they're facing backwards. And then you're going to just bring your elbows back next to your body. So you should feel that that's harder. It's because we're going for a smaller muscle, up to 4. So this is our final one. And then putting your feet back on the floor, walk your hands back in, making yourself into a really small ball. Heels to the floor, extend through your legs, hold for an inhale. And then exhale, restack those vertebrae. Back to standing. Holding at the top for an inhale. And exhale. Tucking your chin, leading with the crown of your head, pelvic floor on, core on. Nice gentle roll to the mat. Okay, so final one with press ups, walking yourself out, bringing your knees to the floor if you're doing a 3/4 press up, core engaged. If you're staying in your full press up, make sure that you're not, again, sagging in the middle, keeping your bum up in the air. Keep yourself in a nice line. Here we go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then knees to the floor, core engaged. Elbows come back towards your body this time for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then bringing yourself back into your child's pose, just having a little rest here for me, taking a few breaths. And then we're going to come on to our side, and we're going to do our book and clam series. Now, if you have a resistance band, you're very welcome to use that to increase your clam. So if you had a loop band, you could just pull that up. If you've got a long resistance band like this one, you need to take it and tie it in a bow. So you're tying that band in a bow about a hand's width away from your knee, so it's not right on your knee joint. Tying it in a nice bow, don't tie in a knot, you'll never get out of it. And then from here we're going to come down and lay on our left hand side. So we're going to work through that right hand side first. So once you're on the floor, just making sure your hip and your shoulder are in a line. Top arm comes out in front of you. Make sure you've got a nice pillow under your head so that your neck stays in alignment and you're not kind of cricking it. Top hand comes up so it's parallel with the bottom hand. Core engaged, pelvic floor on, hips are staying stacked. We're going to inhale and reach forward through that shoulder and then just gently bring the arm up into the air. Rotate through that mid spine, bring the arm back behind you. Hold for an inhale and then exhale. Gently, with control, fighting gravity, we're going to bring that arm back down. So it's a nice slow controlled movement back down. You're really using those arm muscles. Holding at the bottom for your inhale as you reach forward. Exhale, arm comes up in line with your shoulder. Think about that rib cage doing the moving. Make sure your hips stay stacked on top of each other. Hold for an inhale and exhale. Gently, with control, bringing that arm back down, holding at the bottom for an inhale and then exhale. Stretch that arm forward, bring it up into the air, rotate through that mid spine, look behind you, inhale and exhale. Slowly, with control, bringing that arm back down, holding at the bottom, pelvic floor on, core on, stretching that arm forward, bringing it up into the air, looking to your fingers, taking that arm back behind you, holding for an inhale and exhale. Fight gravity, bring that arm back down. Okay, 4 more to go here. So holding at the bottom for an inhale, core engaged, make sure that little gap remains under your low side, stretching through that arm, bringing it up in line, and then the rotation comes through that mid spine, so make sure your hips are staying still. Nice slow controlled movement back to the mat. Okay, 3 more. Final 2. And final 1. Okay, moving your arms to wherever they're comfortable. I mean, you can leave them in front of you if you want, but I find that I want to move my arms back closer to my body. Keeping your hips stacked on top of each other, the ankles glued together. Going to imagine you've got a big heavy book on top of that leg, especially if you don't have the band. This is going to really help you visualize. So what I want you to think about is really pushing that leg up on your exhale. So you're really pushing that heavy book off the top of your leg. You're going to hold it at the top for an inhale. Make sure that hip hasn't rolled backwards. And then exhale. Gently, with control, bring that knee back down, holding at the bottom for an inhale. And then exhale. Bringing that leg back up, holding it here for an inhale. And then exhale. Gently bringing that knee back down, holding at the bottom for an inhale. And exhale. holding at the top, really pushing with that top leg. Hold for an inhale, and then exhale. Gently bringing that leg back down, holding at the bottom for another inhale. Exhale. Pushing that leg back up, really thinking about that heavy book you're pushing off the top of your leg, holding it there for your inhale. And exhale. Back to the mat. Okay, we have 4 more to go. So inhaling at the bottom. Exhale. Pushing that leg back up, really focus on that heavy book. Think about that hip, make sure your hip doesn't roll backwards, and then on your exhale, back to the mat. Nice slow controlled movement back down. Hold for an inhale. Hold at the top. Exhale down. Final 2. Final 1. Well done. Okay, going to roll over to the other side so that if you are wearing a band, you haven't got to worry about retying it. So we're coming on to our left hand side. Again, first thing you need to focus on is your setup. So making sure your head is in alignment, so your neck isn't in a funny angle. Shoulder and hip are in a line. Feet are just gently resting on the floor, gluing those knees together, keeping your hips stacked, core engaged. Top arm comes out in front, holding for an inhale while you stretch forward through that arm, and then exhale. Arm comes up in line with your shoulder and then rotate through that mid-spine. Look to your fingers, inhale. And exhale. Fight gravity as you bring that arm back down nice and slowly. Holding at the bottom. Exhale. Stretching forward, bring that arm up in line with your shoulder, rotate through that mid-spine. Holding at the back for an inhale, check in with your hips, make sure that you haven't let that hip roll forward, and then just fighting gravity. Really try and keep that movement back down nice and slow and controlled, so you're working those arm muscles a little bit harder. Okay, 4 more, inhaling here. Exhale. Stretch up. Make sure that rotation comes through your mid-spine, hold at the back. Exhale. Keep that pelvic floor connection strong as you exhale back down, core engaged. Inhale, take that arm forward. Exhale, stretching that arm up and over. Try and make your arm longer. Try and really reach for the ceiling. Holding it back. Exhale. Slow, controlled movement back to the front. Final 2 here. Inhaling here. Make sure that rotations come through your mid-spine. So this is a really nice exercise for opening up through those chest muscles. And final 1. Okay, moving your arms to where they're comfortable, thinking about that heavy book on top of your legs, keeping your ankles glued to the floor. Core engaged, taking an inhale. Exhale. Push that knee up, holding at the top for an inhale. And then exhale. Gently bringing that knee back down, core on, holding at the bottom, inhale. Exhale, lift. Really thinking about pushing that heavy book off the top of your leg. Remember, don't let that hip roll too far back. Hips stay stacked on top of each other. Nice, slow, controlled lower to the floor. So every time you lower, you're thinking about that big spring between your knees and you're really pushing it back together. So it's as hard to go down as it is to go up. Okay, 4 more to go. Core engaged, check in with your rib to hip connection. Really thinking about pushing that heavy book off the top of your legs. So we're building strength in those glutes and hips here. Final 2, core engaged, ribs in line with your hips. Keep your chin lifted. Make sure you're not looking down at the floor. And final time. Okay. And just bringing yourself back up to sitting. Thanks for joining my mobility workout today. I hope you found it really beneficial. Check out my playlists for other videos you can do from wherever you are, whenever you like. Bye for now.